You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the January 4th, 2023 meeting of the LaPorte County Commission. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year and welcome to the reorganizational meeting of the LaPorte County Commission. Probably wondering why I'm here. I am here very temporarily as LaPorte County Auditor in a ceremonial role, as is customary at the reorganizational meeting until the commissioners pick their president. And with that, having called the meeting to order, I'll ask you all to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Rich, if you'd lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Galloway, roll call, please.
Commissioner Mrozinski.
Present.
Commissioner Haney.
Present.
Commissioner Gamarosa.
Present.
All present.
Thank you, sir. The next item on the agenda is indeed the election of officers. I'll open the floor for nominations for officers for President of the LaPorte County Commission.
I nominate Connie Grammarosa for President of the Commission for 2023.
We have a nomination of Connie Grammarosa. Is there a second? We have a nomination of Connie Grammarosa for County Commission President. Is there a second? Hearing none, the motion dies for lack of a second. Are there any other nominations?
I nominate Joe Haney for President of the Commission.
We have a nomination for Joe Haney for President of the LaPorte County Commission. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Step down and second.
Yes.
There's a motion and a second for Joe Haney for County Commission President. Are there any other nominations? With that, no other nominations. Nominations are closed. What's the pleasure of the body, the commission? Is there a motion?
Call the vote.
Yeah. Motion to adopt. Motion to appoint.
Aye.
I'm sorry. Move to appoint. Is there a motion to appoint Commissioner Haney as president?
Motion.
Okay.
So moved.
Okay. Nominations are closed. Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second to put in Commissioner Haney as president. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
I'm sorry, is that aye?
Aye.
Okay, 3 ayes, no nays. Commissioner, congratulations. I'll hand the gavel to you and go back to my perch.
Thank you, Mr. Auditor.
Thank you, sir. Second, settle. Yep.
Sure. Just for a brief moment, we're going to take just a couple of minutes here. We're having some technical issues with our Zoom capabilities, so bear with us for a few minutes. We're just going to take a couple minute recess here while we get the technical issues straightened out.
What did I say to you?
Recording in progress.
Let him know he has to spell it out thoroughly what he wants done and give him an example before we can even move anybody's around.
You need shot faking.
Yeah, they don't.
Do we need to redo my portion or no? Okay. Joking.
We can get rid of this for sure.
Yeah, let's just, let's advertise.
All right, thank you, everyone. Welcome back. Our technical issues are straightened out. Looks like we have Zoom ready. For the folks who were on Zoom, the only thing that you had missed was the roll call. We have all three members present. There was the election of commission president. There's the election of commission president, of which I am now the president. The next step is consideration of vice president of the LaPorte County Board of Commissioners. And I'll open the floor to nominations for vice president. I will step down and nominate Connie Grammarosa for Vice President of the LaPorte County Board of Commissioners. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Excellent. We have a nomination and a second. Are there any other nominations for Vice President of the LaPorte County Board of Commissioners? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to...
I'd like to make a motion to entertain. So moved.
So moved. All right. This is a motion to appoint Connie Grammarosa, Vice President of the LaPorte County Board of Commissioners. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. All right. Next on our agenda here this morning, we have to consider the agenda. Are there any additions, changes, or deletions to the agenda?
Agenda considerations on item 8A, consider reinstating of county planner, facilities director, and commissioner's confidential executive assistant to policy making annual appointments. Under old business, SEH contract for the auditor's office. Under new business, consider formal recommendation by insured of LaPorte County of LaPorte County Property Management, Inc. as County Complex Restoration Project lead contractor to submit insure for Chubb Insurance. Consider Resolution 2021-07 electronic meeting policy. Consider resolution establishing electronic meeting policy. Consider resolution 2013-01 Office of Economic Development, and consider resolution establishing Center of Economic Development, Planning, and Government Affairs. And then we would also like to consider removing number 18, Commissioner's Comments.
Very good. Do we have a second? I'll second that. All those in favor of amending the agenda as presented?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. All right, next we have consider the approval of the December 2021, December 21st, 2022 minutes. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
You don't have them.
Can I,
They may not be in your packet, but I see here you signed a copy of the minutes already, Commissioner
Motion to
Resins.
approve.
Okay.
second?
All right, we have a motion, a second to approve the minutes. All those in favor, aye.
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 Very good. Thank you. Next, we have consideration of claims, Mr. Auditor.
Yes, excuse me. Commissioners, we have payroll for the period ending 12/30/2022 in the amount of $1,329,738.59, and then operating expense claims in the amount of $2,592,488.64.
Motion to approve.
Second?
We have a motion, a second to approve the claims as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next, we have consider appointment of department heads and professional advisors. I have a list here. I'll go ahead and read. Insurance agencies of record, and if it's acceptable to the board, I'll read these as a full list without objection. Insurance agencies of record, Michiana Insurance and General Insurance Services. County financial advisors, Sender and Company and Baker Tilly. County attorney, Jones Law Firm. Commissioner's executive assistant, Deborah Fly Nelson. Animal shelter director, Eric Hayes. And just for a moment, I have realized that we need to consider 8A actually which was added just before this. So I would entertain a motion to consider the reinstatement of the county planner, facilities director, and commissioner's confidential executive assistant to policymaking annual appointments.
So moved.
I will second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. All right.
Was that opening posted legally?
We have changed those positions back to annual appointments, so there was no need to post those. Thank you for pointing that out, though. We appreciate it. Next on the agenda, we have department heads and professional advisors appointments. I'll start over with the list here in front of us again without objection. Insurance agencies of record, Michiana Insurance and General Insurance Services. County financial advisor, Sender and Company and Baker Tilly. County attorney, Jones Law Firm. Commissioner's executive confidential assistant, Deborah Fly Nelson. Animal shelter director, Eric Hayes. Community corrections director, America Beatty. County engineer, Jerry J. Sullivan. County highway superintendent, Alan Stevens. Director of planning and regulatory affairs, Mitch Bishop. EMA director, acting director, Robert Saby. EMS director, Andrew McGuire. E911 director, Barb Houston. Information technology director, Darlene Hale. Museum curator, Danielle Adams. Parks and recreation director, Jeremy Sebecki. Right to Know and Hazmat, Jeff Hamilton. Director of Facilities, Sean Fitzpatrick. Veteran Service Officer, Joe Golick. And Weights and Measure Inspector, Interim Inspector, Michael Quinn. And Deputy Inspector, Dakota Euler. Building Commissioner, Michael Poland. Acting MS4 Director, Michael Poland. And Health Department Administrator, Amanda Lanners. I would entertain a motion to accept those as read.
I make a motion to accept.
Thank you.
I have some questions.
Certainly.
Did you read Mike Poland as acting MS4 director?
Correct.
What happened to our MS4 director? We have one.
Right here.
She's right
We
there.
get to appoint whom,
We get to
we get
appoint
annual appointments.
appointments.
I know you've been at this for 6 years, right? And you know how this works?
Yes,
I've been a commissioner 6 years, my dear. I know exactly how
Okay.
it's supposed to work legally, how jobs are supposed to be posted when they're open,
Council?
and how, well, first of all, I'm sorry, I just met the man. Had nothing to do with hiring. I understand that you are Tim Stabos' personal attorney. To me, I don't know, this sounds like a conflict of interest.
Sure.
Mr.
His personal attorney as
Commissioner
a county
Brzezinski,
attorney.
Mr. Jones and his law firm do not represent Auditor Stabos in any capacity.
May I be heard on this,
Yes.
Mr. Haney?
Please.
Mr. Brzezinski, I explained to you before the meeting. You asked that question. I have withdrawn as attorney for Mr. Stabos. I'm no longer his attorney. I explained that before the meeting started today.
But you were his attorney.
I was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Conflict, the way I see it.
Okay. Thank you.
And so you dismissed our MS4 director also?
Not
And-
reappointed.
There's not
As of yet, and
dismissal.
there's not a,
These are yearly appointments.
yes.
And our highway superintendent has been also dismissed,
For
Not-
disciplinary actions.
And not been reappointed.
disciplinary action.
As you well know, Mr. Brzezinski, we don't discuss disciplinary actions in public meetings of employees.
No, normally do that in a executive session with all three commissioners so that you'll have a,
Well, that's funny
Authority.
because in 2018, you fired somebody and I was in the office and I wasn't notified till after the firing. So would you like to get into all that?
There was still two commissioners.
There were not two commissioners at that meeting when you fired that young lady.
Well, my fellow commissioners, let's move forward. Do you have any other further comments or questions about this?
No, I just thought I would bring up the way we're supposed to do things legally, but apparently you guys have other ideas about how to do things and exclude.
Well, again, I brought up a point where you fired somebody solely and no one's being fired here. These are annual appointments and we are appointing people.
Yeah. Appointments. And there's nothing untoward or illegal about those actions. They're annual appointments that are made every single year. Thank you, though. All right, I will second your motion, Commissioner Grammarosa. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Thank you. All right. Next, we will consider board and commission appointments. For the Alcoholic Beverage Commission, Ron Schaefer. The Animal Control Advisory Commission, Dr. Patrick Dora, Luann Troxel, Joe Haney. The Board of Construction Review.
Speak up, please.
Sure. Board of Construction Review, Marcella Kunstick, Joel Florick, Deb Vance, and James Pressel III. Board of Zoning Appeals, Deb Vance and Vern Schaefer. Conventioner and Visitors Bureau, Stassi Benning. Drainage Board, Hugh Glasgow, Jeff Mitzer, Pat Vance. Fair Management and Events Corporation, Joe Haney. Pioneer Cemetery Commission, Bruce Johnson. The Plan Commission, Deb Vance and Joe Haney. Property Tax Assessment Board of Appeals, Tom Fath, Matt Bernacki, and Amy Blind. The Redevelopment Commission, Mark Parkman, Scott Cooley, and Joe Haney. Regional Bus Authority, Rodney McCormick, and Regional Sewer and Water District. I believe this is another appointment we need to reappoint here, Mitch Bishop. And any appointments or positions not appointed will be held over for a future meeting.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
I think there should
Aye.
be discussion, possibly.
Sure. Is there any discussion?
I don't think it would be worth my time.
Okay, very good. Hearing no further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next we have 2023 Board of Commissioner Liaison positions. Animal Control Board, Commissioner Haney. Community Corrections, Commissioner Haney. The Drainage Board, Commissioner Grammarosa. E911, Commissioner Haney. Fair Board, Commissioner Grammarosa. Fair Management Events Corporation, Commissioner Haney. A Highway Department, Commissioner Grammarosa. Job Evaluation Committee, Commissioner Grammarosa. Juvenile Services Center, Commissioner Haney. Kankakee River Basin and Yellow River Basin Commission, Commissioner Mrzinski. The Museum, Commissioner Haney. Northwest Indiana Regional Plan Commission, Commissioner Grammarosa. Pioneer Cemetery Commission, Commissioner Grammarosa. Plan Commission, Commissioner Haney. Redevelopment Commission, Commissioner Haney. Regional Sewer District, Commissioner Grammarosa. Right to Know, Commissioner Grammarosa. The Solid Waste, Commissioner Grammarosa, Commissioner Haney, and Commissioner Mrzinski. Weights and Measures, Commissioner Grammarosa. Workforce Development, Commissioner Grammarosa. Health Department, Commissioner Haney, and our appointment to SEAC, the Shared Ethics Advisory Commission, Heather Stevens.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that motion. Is there any discussion?
It's like I'm batting 1,000. Got nothing.
All right, hearing no further discussion. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Hey,
Okay. We also have the Community Corrections Advisory Board had a number of positions that were needing to be refilled. Some of these are required by statute, so we're going to try and fill these in as best we can here. Starting with Kurt Ernst, Steve Eyrich, Dan Peck, Bruce Ashley, Gail Boss, Steve Klasowski, Rodney McCormick, Liam Hobbs, Vaughn Galloway, Regina Riddell, Joe Haney, Erica Stallworth, Mike Callahan, Deborah Ackerman, and Spencer England. Other positions on this list are contemporaneous with employment, and any positions not filled will be held over to a future meeting.
Motion to approve?
I'll second the motion. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. All right, very good. That brings us down to our designation of publication. Legal notices, commission meeting agendas, public notice. So we'll start with the designation of publication. Pursuant to IC Code 5-3-1, LaPorte County Board of Commissioners has moved that the following newspapers be designated as qualified publications in which LaPorte County shall publish notices as required by law. Number one, the LaPorte County Herald Dispatch, followed by the Westville Indicator and Regional News. Do I have a motion to...
Motion to approve?
Thank you. A second? I will second that. Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. 2023 LaPorte County Commissioners meetings dates. We had this in our agenda packet earlier. The dates continue out, generally speaking, here for January 4th, and all these are for the year 2023. January 4th, which is today, January 18th, February 1st, February 15th, March 1st, March 15th, April 5th, April 19th, May 3rd, May 17th, June 7th, June 21st, July 5th, July 19th, August 2nd, August 16th, September 6th, September 20th, October 4th, October 18th, November 1st and November 15th, and December 6th and December 20th. For informational purposes, the first meeting of the month will remain at 10 a.m. and the second meeting of the month will still remain at 6 p.m. Entertain a motion to accept the commissioner.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Very good. All right. All further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Let's see here. All right. Next on the agenda, we move to public comment.
This ought to be good. Good morning.
Good morning.
Steve Hollifield, 6782 East 100 South Mill Creek. First of all, I just like to make a couple comments. Congratulations, Ms. Grammarosa.
Thank you.
Good luck, Mr. Haney. You've got someone now on your side to help move the county forward, I hope, and get us out from under this mess we've been in for the last several years. A couple points I'd like to hope you take in your advisement and just listen. You know, you don't have to do anything, but just listen. I'm the attorney. I'm glad to see we got some change. Glad, finally. We need that desperately. Desperately. You're under contract, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you guys have a third party look at that, or at least the commissioners look at it?
Sure. So contracts that haven't been previously advertised have to wait until the following agenda. So we will be. I've taken a look at the preliminary contract, which is much tighter than the previous attorney's contract, which looks good. But yeah, it will be vetted before the next meeting.
Good. Thank you. Public comment. We're in need of public comment in these meetings very, very badly. I mean, that's why the founding fathers put it as number one, free speech.
Absolutely.
The town of Cedar Lake has some good ideas. I spoke with our former town council president, who's now a county councilman on Lake County. People are allowed to ask questions during the meeting. If something changes or they're not sure why they're doing things. That way we don't have to fill out a whole mess of paperwork for request information from basically your employees. So that's something I think would be considered. I mean, within reason and politeness. We have to be polite during these meetings. And I think something that's happened here recently at the end of the meetings, council and commissioner, attorney, and commissioner have been ridiculing individual citizens because they exercise their right to free speech and exercise our right to rebut our government with our grievances. I think when that happens, in these rude, condescending, arrogant manner, we, the public, should have the option to rebut back to those at the end of the meeting, within reason again. I think you should look at enforcing a better whistleblower program. I think we've got some outstanding employees in this county. Unfortunately, they are scared to speak forward publicly because they know there is a group of public people that work for the county. They're going to do everything in their power to make you guys look bad before the next election. So that's why I think if you enforce the whistleblower program, that would help. And just to say good luck and hope you're able to move the county forward and get our reputation back instead of the reputation like Lake County. I go downstate every year during session, and believe me, we are a laughing stock right alongside Lake County. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Rodney McCormick, 617 Union Street, Michigan City. Congratulations, Joe. I've been waiting for this for a long time. I'm glad to see this. I'm also glad to see a new attorney. Welcome aboard, Ms. Grammarosa and Rich, and Happy New Year to everyone. The people of LaPorte County spoken. Win, lose, or draw, the people want change. We are tired of the bickering and the arguing and disagreement with each other. I hope that we can move forward from that. The time now is for us to come together and do the work of the people, not our self-interest or the interests of individuals who was not elected to do the business of the people. I want to thank you for the appointments that you put me on, the boards you placed me on. I will try my best to not let you down. The beginning of this meeting was kind of rough to watch. Please, let's not go back to the way things were. Mr. Merzinski, it's time for us all to just come together and get along. I promise you I won't say nothing out of the way to you, it's time for us to all come together and do the work of the people. We want to see a better government. And the voters spoke. They didn't like the way things was, and we need to adapt that so we can move forward and pass the torch to the next generation. With that being said, Happy New Year's to everyone, and thank everybody for showing up, and good luck to us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McCormick.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Tommy Kolovic. I live at 1316 Ohio Street, Michigan City, Indiana. Happy New Year. Welcome back, Commissioner Connie Grammarosa, to your seat. I got a couple special announcements to make. I have two now, Commissioner. This morning I was sworn in as a member of the Michigan City Fire Merit Commission.
Congratulations.
Probably got a lot of work to do to serve on that board. Very, very, very disciplined board or commission. I also got another special announcement. Yesterday it was my 30-year anniversary becoming a LaPorte County resident and resident of the Michigan City area schools. 30 years ago I moved from my boyhood home in Portage. Me and Mom and Dad went in and bought our house out in Cool Spring Township. So it's just an honor to be among you. I think after 30 years I ought to know something. I kind of want to get down to business. We need to get a site plan for the 8th and Wabash property. The county bought that in 2002. They bought from John and Larry Figueres, very prominent businessmen in Michigan City. They had a shoe store, a liquor store, a men's big and tall suit store, and a women's clothing store there. They bought that there, and they bought it where the county. Now it's basically it's about now vacated. It's maybe used for the voting center or whatever. That they paid it for $625,000. We don't want another debacle like you had just auctioned it off for pennies on the dollar. You need to get it listed with a real broker and sell it for market price. Mayor Perry feels that it should be given to the city in exchange for relaxing the stormwater drainage fees on the courthouse renovation. Don't give it to the city. It's going to end up just like when Sheila Brilson was the mayor and she abandoned the former police substation building at 6th and Willard. We don't want that. We don't want that to metamorphosize into that. I just want to express that. I want a site plan for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just for informational purposes, my hope was to dispose of that property in the first or second quarter of this year. Unfortunately, with the flood here in the annex, we're going to repurpose that temporarily to house some of our departments that have been displaced here out of the annex due to the flood up to the 8th Street property. And once the renovations here are complete and the repairs are complete, then we'll move those departments back out to where they belong. And then I'll personally ensure that we get full advertisement and disclosure, and everyone knows when that property does go up for sale or auction in accordance with the law, to make sure that we get top dollar for it. Thank you, Mr. Kentaft.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Rick Kentaff. I live at 324 Box Street, City of LaPorte. It's a new year. New board. I think the first thing everyone that's sitting in here needs to remember, you are all public servants. It's every one of you. You work for us. And for the next 2 years, I can guarantee you I'm going to be in front of this board on many occasions. I'm going to be a watchdog. Because I see that cronyism and pay-for-play politics is still alive. That's obvious in your appointments. And I'm sickened by it. Obviously, what certain people said, what they're going to do, did not hold true in their campaign promises. I'm going to want to see the contract for your new county attorney, who is Mr. Stabos's boy, since he was his attorney. I want to know if he's going to charge us to drive from Mishawaka to LaPorte every time he comes here. I want to see that attorney contract. I want to see his billing, since it was such a big deal, and now he's Mr. Stabos's former attorney, and how that's not a conflict of interest under your ethics rules, since no one seems to want to follow them. And that was a big concern for everybody, that at least two of the people sitting on this board with the prior administration, and you've done exactly what you complained about before. If there's no conflict of interest for this man representing this auditor, and now he recuses himself that he's not representing him anymore, but he's now the county attorney. I find that very interesting. Then your appointment of the county highway superintendent. I have the police report in front of me from 3/31 of 1993, where Mr. Stevens admits that he burned a cross to make an impact because of the color of the person that lived in that house. And that's racist, a racist act. And you appoint that as a department head. And Mrs. Grammarosa, you were at a meeting before you were elected accusing Mr. Merzinski of being a racist with no evidence. Well, on page 3, I have the police report right here. And it says that it was done because of the color of a person's skin. And you're going to tell me because he's got 13 years of experience that excuses this action? There are people that are in public office that lost their positions because they dressed up in blackface as a Halloween costume 20 years prior. And that's acceptable in this county? I'm sickened by it. And people sit here in this county and let it go. That's what we elected in office? That's the change people are talking about? How can you put a person as a department head with this in their background? And you sit up there and don't say anything about it, you accept it. I'm sickened by it. That's the change we elected for?
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Kentaft. Is anyone else for public comment?
Tommy Klovic, 1316 Ohio Street. I also want to mention about the 8th and Wabash, but I really have to question why the lights are being left on, both day and night. I think you're kind of wasting, the county's wasting money by that. I think nobody's there, and all the lights should be turned off. We got a sign out here outside the door saying, everybody to leave, turn the lights off. There's got to be maybe an automated system that turns the lights on and off when needed. So I just want to mention that. Thank you.
I'll look into that. Thank you.
And Mr. President, I would add, I believe under Robert's rules, I think everyone is supposed to be permitted to speak before someone can speak twice.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
No offense.
Sure. Is there anyone else here in person for public comment?
Good evening, everybody. Happy New Year. My name is Sergeant Anthony Edward Lewis, United States Army and Marine Corps. I live in Michigan City in Weatherstone subdivision. I'm a voting rights activist and a combat veteran. I came in close to the very beginning of this session, early enough to be able to see bullet point 4, there was an election of officers in this vice president position. I'm still learning a lot of things, but I was kind of curious about that appointment. I wanted to know, what is that job? Is that something that I could apply for?
For Vice President of the Board of Commissioners?
Yes.
The Vice President of the Board of Commissioners must be a member of the Board of Commissioners.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know.
That's okay.
Thank you very much.
Certainly. All right.
Good morning again,
Morning,
Commissioners. Tim Stabos, LaPorte County Auditor. Just wanted to address the concerns expressed by Mr. Kentaft and anyone else who may have them around conflict of interest. I'd like to address them.
You know what, I'd like to shut you down on that. We're not gonna have a public official come up here and comment on what a citizen has talked about. I mean, this is exactly what we said we were not going to be doing. We're not going to contradict. Everyone has a right to their opinion. He stated his opinion, and you as an elected official, I don't think it's right for you to come and.
I appreciate your concerns around that. I would like to just explain a few basic points around that, if I may, though, as part of my rights as a citizen. That's why I came during public comment.
This is.
If you have public comments you would like to make, not directly pointed at a citizen.
On perceptions that may exist in the public broadly around conflict of interest, very simply.
Again,
If I
it's
may.
not his place to, he is the auditor. I mean, we all have to have our roles.
I believe, as this is public comment and not a department head or other department report, I believe Mr. Stabos is afforded the same rights under our rules, but it is up to the chair, of course, as to what Mr. Stabos may comment on.
I believe that's correct as well. I would just ask not direct comment toward other members of the public.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Certainly. To keep it brief, I just wanted to emphasize a few points, and that is Mr. Jones here, and the Jones law firm is who you elected to represent to you. Mr. Jones is one attorney from that firm. Mr. Jones, who has merely and simply gone from representing me, which he has withdrawn as an individual in an action by a vendor of the county against me, to withdrawing from representing me and representing the county itself. Mind you, in both actions where the firm represented me, the counties and my interest happened to coincide. That is, one, the county itself has an interest in not being, I'll use the word cheated, on billings charged to it by any attorney. And two, arguably, at least, the county has an interest in protecting me in the things I have said or may say about certain other officials, specifically in a defamation case, since virtually all of the things I have said involve causing harm to LaPorte County, its elected officials, or its department heads. And I would just say one other thing, and that is, for the record, I had absolutely nothing to do with the Jones law firm being hired by this county commission. Commissioner Haney has an independent relationship with Attorney Jones and that firm, and I was in no way involved with the interview or solicitation process involving any attorneys this new commission pursued or considered. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Auditor.
Clear for the record, that's all.
Thank you.
Mike Quinn, Weights and Measures.
Quinn?
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention very loyal, dedicated, 17-and-a-half-year employee, part-time, that retired December 30th. And even though you're going to all say, oh, it's only your wife. Well, she dedicated her life to LaPorte County to work as a part-time assistant in the Department of Weights and Measures. It's not a glory job, it's a dirty job. It's not all bells and whistles. You don't wear nice clothes. But she dedicated 17-and-a-half years of her life, and I want to commend her for doing it. So I think she deserves recognition.
Thank you, Mr. Quinn. Please express our gratitude to her. All right, thank you. Any other members of the public here in person for public comment? All right, is there anyone on Zoom for public comment? All right, seeing no one else for public comment is closed. We will move on to the next item on the agenda here, which is department head comments.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ella Bilderbeck, LaPorte County Recorder. Since this is the beginning of the year, I thought I'll brief you a little bit on what happened last year in my office. We actually recorded 16,616 documents. That was a drop from previous year, but we still collected $754,668.07. 242,000 of that money went directly to general fund, 16,382 to security protection fund, 72,209 to enhanced access fund, 81,910 to surveyors cordon fund, 16,382 to elected officials training fund, 10,000 to state mortgage recording fund, and 314,389 to recorders perpetuation fund. 330,000 of that covers my budget. So my office is paying for everything except 2 salaries. That frees the county to spend that money elsewhere, which I'm proud to say we do quite a bit. Last year, I attended some educational meetings and training sessions, including annual conference. At that conference, I learned that our county did not have enhanced access fund, which was required by a state law. That was probably a good decade or more behind in creation. I established a fund with help from the county council attorney, Vaughn Galloway, and Richie Hoffer from SBOA. So we are now in compliance with the state. Also, I have, all my records have to be backed up on microfilm. We checked those. Some film was found to be defective. We end up having to redo 31 rolls of microfilm. That's 226,642 images. So later this year, when the weather gets a little better, some of my microfilm is stored in the maintenance building. That will be all moved to the vault at the courthouse to make sure that all has the same climate control setup, and so that we don't have any more film go bad. Like I said, there was a drop from previous year in the number of recordings, but that's not unexpected. The real estate market went down, the interest rates went up, and we had a lot less people refinancing, and that affected our bottom line. But I'm hoping for a good year, and that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Reporter.
Well, thank you for all that you do. I really appreciate you coming here and giving the report and giving the breakdown. You know, this is one of the things that we talked about is the transparency. And we are going to be asking other department heads to come up during the different meetings and kind of give us, you know, an overall of what the department is doing. So I really appreciate what you've just done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Director Lanners, good morning.
Good morning. Amanda Lanners, Health Department. I just wanted to quickly address the flooding that Commissioner Haney spoke of earlier. All floors of the county complex was affected. 5th, 4th, and 3rd basement. County offices are being removed. In the meantime, we are working with an environmental engineer going through each floor, clearing each floor. Right now we are going through paper records, which you know how the government loves their paper records. We all have a lot of paper, and every floor was affected. So right now, again, we're working with the environmental engineer. I'm with them hand in hand as they go through these documents, assessing them to see if they're safe to move, if they have been affected by mold. We have set up an on-site laboratory so we can have results very quickly on whether or not these documents are damaged and if they can be moved or not. And it's an environmental engineer. I myself have a degree in biology. So if anybody has any questions, I'll be more than happy to, or try to answer them.
And you know, I'd like to say and add to this. 8 departments were affected. Amanda has been on site day one, and she has put in well over 8 hours a day. We have a wonderful team. At the next commissioners meeting, we'll have more information from the insurance company. We do have some of our emergency departments already set up in other areas. As the gentleman had asked, 8th Street is being occupied currently. We are moving, and one of the departments that has been moved there has been the board of the health department. So we do have other departments going into that building, so we will be occupying it, and thankfully we had not sold it. We have a general contractor. As we work with the insurance companies, we will be very transparent on where we are in the stage of the project. So right now we don't have a whole lot of information. Our insurance company adjuster has been reassigned, and we have a new adjuster coming in. So it's kind of like just late last night, we all got that information. So what we can tell you is that Amanda is working with this individual. She is hired by the insurance company, not by us, so that there is a separation. She will be working with the health department, and as we get more information, we will be putting it out to the public. Thank you, Amanda, so much for all that you've done. And really, without naming everyone on the team, I think there's been a really good, solid group. Another one was our maintenance new appointment, came in a week earlier, wasn't even on the payroll, and was really putting in 40 plus hours. So we really appreciate that. He was working as a consultant through the contractor, so he was covered. But the whole team, I just think that everyone's done such a wonderful job. So thank you to all.
Thank you. And yeah, I just want to reiterate that it is very slow and tedious work at this time because it is paper, and I ask for patience. And I'll be in direct contact with each department head as things get cleared.
We appreciate that.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you so much. Sheriff Heeg, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Ron Heeg, Sheriff. I just want to piggyback on Amanda's comments as well, too. Christmas afternoon is not a telephone call you want to receive that the complex is flooding, but we received it. We all came in. I've spoke to all 3 of you individually several times throughout there, several of the council members, Amanda several times, building maintenance, and the guys at ServPro. And I've got no complaints as to the way this has been handled so far. I'm very appreciative of everything that's been done. Thankfully, we at the Sheriff's Office have not been impacted as much as the other floors, but we were impacted. And the communication has been great, and I truly appreciate it. We got a long road ahead of us, but we'll get there. And I just wanted to just say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sheriff. And thank you guys for understanding. Appreciate it. Director Hale.
Hi, thank you. I just want to follow up on theirs too, as the health department is approving us, to get the hardware, any hard surfaces out, get it cleaned. Maintenance is helping us with that and getting it moved to the other locations. I know that with working with the commissioners, you guys are going to put a press release out once everybody is stationed. We do currently have a couple offices that are functioning at capacity, so hopefully within the next few days we will have the rest. but, we're working with the health department and the environmentalist.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other department heads? Yes.
I'd just like to introduce myself. My name is Andrew Jones. I'm really honored and very, very excited to be here at the first commissioners meeting of the year. It's an honor to be appointed to serve the citizens of LaPorte County via this appointment. Back up, okay. I have a tendency to speak very loudly because I'm very hard of hearing, so I apologize if I come across as yelling. That is not my intent. I take a lot of what was said this morning to heart, and it is my solemn promise to everybody in this room that I will never seek to embarrass anyone, to ridicule anyone, to make anyone feel like a public comment that they have made is something that shouldn't be taken seriously by this commission or by LaPorte County. I really appreciate the faith that the commission has put into me, or shown by appointing me today. I look forward to working with all three of the commissioners to do what is best for LaPorte County. I think you'll come to see that I'm someone that I try to be a no drama, no nonsense type of person. I think we need to lower the temperature of these meetings. I've watched several of them over the last several years, and I look forward to starting a new page for LaPorte County today, or turning a new page for LaPorte County today. So I want to thank everybody for your comments today. I've taken them to heart, and I look forward to seeing you at these meetings in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. And just for the public's edification, I did see and read a ethics opinion, and there are no conflicts for Mr. Jones being appointed our attorney here. So thank you. Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Thank you, Mr. President, commissioners. My name is Sean Fitzpatrick, Director of Facilities. I wanted to take this moment to introduce myself to the public and to let the county and the department heads know that I will be working hand in hand with the commissioners as well as the contractors and the environmental engineer and everything to make sure that the flood process, the project that we're working on right now to restore everything back to its normal state runs smoothly with the help from my department, and looking forward to working with the rest of the county and getting a lot of the facilities back up to a respectable area. There are some maintenance issues that are pending that I've noticed, and I'm going to make sure that I take a personal stake in making sure everything is up to standard that I would approve. So just want to say thank you for the opportunity, and everybody have a great day and Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sebecki.
Hello, commissioners. Just wanted to update you on what we're doing a little bit in the parks. First of all, I want to just mention out there that we do have a job opening right now, a chief naturalist position. Our naturalist of 29 years is retiring in beginning of March, and that is posted already. So we're trying to get good applicants for that position. Somebody with natural resource background and that kind of thing, and education background. Secondly, we got a grant from the Healthcare Foundation fairly recently to put in some new displays at our nature center. So we've been taking advantage of the closed time period in the winter here, or slow time period in the winter, to do some renovations in there with some new displays. There's going to be some really cool new displays that are put in there, educational stuff. And lastly, R&L Roofing finished up completely reciting the nature center, and we'll be finishing that off in the spring when we can get a good coat of paint on that. But everything on that just finished up, so the nature center looks a whole lot better than it did in the past few years. So thank you, and if you have any questions, let me know anytime. I'm around. Just let me know.
Thank you for all you do. I mean, you've really done a wonderful job. We've visited some of the areas that you've had redone this year, and you're just amazing. You and your team we really appreciate what you do.
Thank you, and that is, my team. I'm part of that, but my maintenance and my programming staff, all of them are really good. We've got a really good small staff, but I'm telling you, if any one of those small staff didn't put in their part, it would not be noticed. So thank you very much.
Thank you. You and your staff all do a phenomenal job. Any other department heads? Before we move on, I just wanted to point out here, since we just wrapped up public comment as well as department head comments, last year both Commissioner Grammarosa and I talked about one of the things that we would do would be to remove these mute buttons that were installed last year by the previous administration. They have been disconnected and they are no longer available for use here in this room to silence the public or anyone else. So thank you. Thank you so much for everyone for your patience in dealing with that as we resolve that. All right, next we'll move on to requests. I don't believe we have any requests from departments. Okay. Next is old business. Old business, at the prior meeting, we had tabled the contract for the first meeting of this year is the SEH contract from the auditor's office. I know that was reviewed by our prior council, and it comes with the recommendation from the auditor's office.
So I asked to untable the SEH contract.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to remove that from the table and present it for consideration. All those in favor? Aye.
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 All right, thank you. So we will consider the contract and entertain any motions relating to it.
I will note for your pleasure, commissioners, that Brian Shuck. Sorry, Brian. Shook.
Mr. Shook.
Brian Shook, everyone, is here. If you have any questions about the contract, he helps us with a lot of our property tax deductions, TIF neutralizations, the stuff that we need outside consultants for because it's quite complicated.
Sure. Yeah, and this is a standard engagement we go through every year. So, there's no further discussion. I'll entertain a motion to accept the contract.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, very good. I believe that concludes old business. Next, moving on to new business. Item A, consider retroactive approval of the December 26th, 2022 declaration of emergency repair by the former commission president and the council president.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next, we have under new business, consider a formal recommendation by the insured, which is LaPorte County, of LaPorte County Project Management Incorporated as the county complex restoration project lead contractor to submit to the insurer, who is Chubb Insurance.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to formally recommend. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next, we have consider resolution 2021-07. This is the current electronic meeting policy we meet under. Entertain a motion to repeal resolution 2021-07.
Motion to repeal.
Okay, we have a motion to repeal.
2021-07.
Thank you.
I think that is the, if I remember correctly, that's the resolution for fair labor standards.
I would move to a, just for clarification purposes, just to make sure this is correct, because I don't have that resolution right here in front of me.
Get an answer for you.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Auditor. It's either 2021-07 or 2022-07. I could have been a typo here on the list here. If so, I apologize for that.
What are the two different ones it could be?
2021-07 or 2022-07.
Resolution?
Yes.
(2021-07) is a resolution establishing the policy by which members of the Board of Commissioners may participate by electronic means.
So it is 2021-07.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That is correct then. So I will second I will second your motion to repeal 2021-07, the electronic meeting policy.
So we're
Further
repealing
discussion?
the policy for Zoom meetings? Is that what you said?
We're repealing the policy for our Board of Commissioners electronic meeting policy. And then we'll be considering a new policy, which you're holding in your hand right there.
Yeah, I'm just looking, I wonder what was wrong with the old policy? What are we changing?
We're changing the attendance frequency in the policy.
I'm sure you have a good reason for that.
Yes.
Nothing personal, I'm sure.
Sure. Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Thank you. The electronic meeting policy has been repealed. Next on the agenda is consider a resolution establishing an electronic meeting policy. Everybody in their packets has the has a new version here in front of them. As the LaPorte County residents elect commissioners who should be present and accountable and viewable in person to see all of you in person, face to face every day. The electronic meeting policy has been for what will be Resolution 2023-01 will allow the attendance via Zoom by a commissioner once per year. I'll entertain a motion to accept the new electronic meeting policy.
Motion to approve.
Has this been vetted by our attorney?
It has.
Yes, it has.
Our attorney or the one that you just appointed?
Our attorney.
Our
That
attorney.
was just appointed today, but this was, I guess it really doesn't matter how you want to do it.
Okay, I will second that motion then. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay, is this on first reading?
As this is a electronic meeting policy, it does not require to be required to have a second reading. Just like when we adopted our original one, it only needed one. All right, very good. Next we have consider Resolution 2013-01, Office of Economic Development.
Motion to approve. Or we're dissolving this one?
Yes.
Okay, so motion to repeal?
Okay, very good. We have a motion to repeal the 2013-01 Office of Economic Development. I have a second?
You're going to do away with our economic development. Is that what you're telling me?
Correct.
Well, that's a great idea for LaPorte County.
Yes, it is. LaPorte County is currently 62nd in the state thanks to our broadband initiatives. LaPorte County has left millions upon millions of dollars on the table every single year in failed and missed grant opportunities, as was your consultant that you wanted to hire just about a month ago expressed those concerns. So yes, I will second the motion to dissolve. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And opposed?
Nay.
Thank you. All right, very good. On here we do have consider a resolution establishing a Center for Economic Development, Planning, and Governmental Affairs. I believe we should probably hold off on forming that until the next meeting so that it can be properly agended, just for the public's edification. There was a number of items that were to be added to the agenda and publicly advertised here today. Unfortunately, the outgoing former president of the commission and former attorney disallowed those to be added to the agenda, so we won't be able to address those here today, but we will be addressing them soon in an upcoming meeting. So unfortunately, we'll go without an economic development department for a couple of days, but that will be okay. We still have work that can be done through the RDC, and obviously, as commissioners, we will be actively involved to make sure nothing gets dropped in the interim. All right, so that takes care of new business. Item 18 has been removed. There's nothing else?
Nope.
All right, thank you so much. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All right, second. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Good.